Welcome, and in this video, the Pain in the Glass puzzle. This is by far the hardest puzzle I've cut or worked so far. To start out, I started out with a 10.5 by 10.5 square blank piece of plexiglass. After cutting the square out of the large sheet of plexiglass, I cut a random wavy pattern around the outside. This helps disguise the border when you work the final puzzle. Also, I should note that I'm using a Flying Dutchman Polar No. 5 blade, as it has a small set and it keeps the friction off the back of the blade and the plexiglass from melting back together as you cut. After I was happy with the shape of the outside, I went in with a Sharpie writing on the plastic film that's over the plexiglass a semi-design. It started out as 52 pieces, but I decided a few pieces were a little on the smaller side and kind of changed the cuts as I was cutting. I wound up with a total of 45 pieces in this puzzle. As you can see on the side, I am carefully laying the pieces out in order in which I cut them so I can keep track of everything. As you cut the pieces out, make sure you do not make any sharp 90-degree turns, as it leaves a divot in the final puzzle and kind of makes for some misfitting pieces. Just follow the lines through from one side to the other side of each piece, just planning out your cuts as you go through. And also, with cutting plexiglass, it is important to always keep a steady feed. If you pause at any time, even with the Flying Dutchman Polar blades, you will get some friction and the plexiglass will start to melt back together, giving a poor cut. After all the pieces was cut, I removed the plastic off each piece, laying it onto a clean piece of plywood so I could make sure that I had no ill-fitting pieces. After all of the protective coating was removed from the pieces, I give it a quick once over to make sure that all seams matched up well and the puzzle was in good condition. The next step in the process was to lightly sand the sharp edges off of each piece, making sure not to actually sand any of the edge where the pieces fit up together. As I sanded, I boxed up each individual piece into a small box to work later on. The concept idea for this puzzle came from an online article from, I think, Scroll Saw magazine. It was talking about a brain teaser puzzle by making almost the same design but with painting both sides of a piece of wood. I decided that plexiglass would even be more difficult, as there would be no grain lines to match up either. I hope you enjoyed watching this. If you did, please subscribe, like, share, and if you'd like to see future content after you subscribe, make sure you hit that notification bell. Here is a few still photos of the puzzle and progression of me putting the puzzle together. It ended up taking almost 3 hours to fully complete. If you have any questions, shoot me a comment below and I will try to answer in a timely fashion.